In a lot of ways, I say our characters are even more famous than DC itself. And it's our job to make sure that we continue to build on those brands and make them even more popular.
All the major hitters, right? Superman, Batman, Wonder Woman, The Flash, Green Lantern, of course. So we've got all these amazing characters.
I've been given a great honor and a great opportunity to continue the stories of these characters, to present them in new ways for new audiences.
Well, the big news at DC Comics is that we're about to launch 52 all-new series. These are all new number ones, featuring all of our top characters, some of our obscure characters, and some characters you've never seen before.
Which is a great opportunity for readers who aren't familiar with our characters to jump aboard, to come join the party that is the DC universe.
I think as a fan, you're going to have a chance to experience something that no one else has experienced before you, and I think that's a great opportunity.
Everything is new, everything is fresh, our heroes are young, the origins are fresh, they relate to what's going on in the world.
Everyone knows these characters, but we're going to show them something completely different, something completely exciting, something completely new.
New ways of looking at characters, new ways of thinking about characters. Things that were familiar will now be kind of unfamiliar. Things that may have seemed stale or boring are suddenly being revitalized and plugged into feelings that people are having right now.
Coming out with new looks, new storylines. This is a great opportunity for people to kind of come in and start collecting comics.
One of the most exciting things about our DC launch in September is that readers will have an opportunity to experience comics in a different way. DC Comics is going to be the first publisher to put comics out day and date digital.
That means that everybody can go out and buy their books at the traditional comic stores, but if you can't get there, you can buy these books on the same day, digitally, online, and that's what makes it great.
This is a moment in history, all right, for fans and retailers alike. We're trying to get new fans. We're trying to get people that have never even bought a comic book before excited about the medium, excited about these stories, about these characters. You know what? Retailers should be very excited because, you know what? We're going to give them something that everyone wants.
Well, we have so many exciting new books, but probably the ones that are most key for everybody to see is the launch of our new Justice League series done by Jeff Johns and Jim Lee.
I've wanted to work with Jeff Johns for many, many years, and we finally are getting a chance to work together, and we're doing it on the biggest book possible, Justice League, right?
Superman's so positive. Superman is the idea that we created that's stronger than all others. He never gives in, and you can't destroy him. And no matter how hard you try, he gets up again.
52 great artists, 52 great writers, and so much going on. I just can't wait for everybody to see it.
We're here to grow the industry. We're here to keep these characters as exciting as possible, and we're going to do everything possible to do that. We're going to be bold, we're going to be different, we're going to do things that you never expected. We're going to take these iconic characters, and we're going to give you a fresh new look. And, I think we delivered on that on every level.
In the 10 years that I've been here, we've done some great events and some big stories and big books, but this is probably the single most exciting time in the 10 years that I've been with DC.
Get ready to read some really cool stories.
I hope everyone comes and joins the party.
We're going to give them something that is the mother of all events.
Hi everyone, and welcome to another exciting episode of the show we decided to reboot after like 80 years of history, and just to gain new viewers, trip around the wave with your.
No, this is not the first reboot. This is the fifth.
Yeah, but this is like the major one.
yeah.
But they tried to pretend nothing ever happened, but did happen at the same time.
Exactly.
Yeah. Exactly. Yes, and I'm your host, Bartor Kyle Charles,
and I'm the man who ran around time to save my mum, which then altered the multiverse, changed the universe, and then put it back together like it was fractured glass. CY Chung.
And if you haven't realised, well, it's a long-winded intro. This is a little history. This year makes 10 years ago that DC decided, hey, we're going to relaunch our whole comic book line, start with brand new number ones, and all of our characters, except for 10% of them, will have new origin stories, and it's a good jumping on point for new readers, unless you want to jump into Batman or Green Lantern, because we've kept all that history. Yeah. which ends up contradicting all other histories, but whatever, innit?
Yeah,
So
exactly.
so we decided, hey, let's do a little, retrospect, talk about the new 52, and
So
was it worth it in the end?
just to set the groundwork,
Yep.
Barry pre-New 52,
Yep.
post-Crisis,
Post Flashpoint.
Barry Allen came back,
Yeah.
and then he went to go back in time to save his mum. Yeah, altered the DC universe at that time to the Flashpoint universe.
Yeah.
Which had Thomas Wayne as Batman and Superman, who was discovered by the government and put in the shelter and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the Flashpoint wasn't a bad idea.
No, Flashpoint was cool.
Yeah. But then when he ran back to stop himself, like at the end of Flashpoint when he was getting nuked or so. Oh, no, it was the Atlantean Amazon War.
Yeah.
Yeah. He basically ran back to change the time that he changed. So he ran back into the timeline to stop himself changing time.
Yeah.
And then Pandora decided, oh, you know what? At this point, right, where Baron is coming back to the original DC timeline, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the Wildstorm universe and what's the other universe you put there? The Vertigo universe, right?
Vertigo. Certain bits of Vertigo universe.
Yeah.
And
mishmashed all them DC timelines together, and boom, that's what Barry Allen runs into, and that's what he's changed into the new 52 timeline because Pandora was like, there's a secret special threat coming along that we need to unite these different timelines to put together to fix, the teams in order to take it down.
Yeah,
something weird. Which I don't know if do you think they ever did. Do you think they planned that far back to have Dr. Manhattan do this?
Nope.
Right. Yeah, because that's what the issue is after New 52 is like, as you were saying before, some of them are a good introduction point to the teams, right?
Yeah.
And some of them weren't.
Yep.
But sometimes it's like, well, we don't know what's in continuity and not in continuity anymore.
Yeah.
So F this, we'll just keep on going until someone tells us otherwise, which is not really helpful.
No, it wasn't. I was fully on board.
Yeah.
Until they said, "Oh, we're keeping." I was reading Batman at that point anyway. I was like, "Oh, I don't mind if they start from the beginning with Batman, even though there's lots of it which they still need to keep." But then they decided, "Oh yeah, we're keeping this bit, and also Green Lantern because we built up this, but everything else doesn't matter."
The problem with that, of course, is he had Dick Grayson, Nightwing, as his Robin, who for what, a year? Then Jason Todd for a year, then Tim Drake for about a year. And he wasn't Robin because he was Red Robin, but then he was Robin later on. Because they were like, you know what, this is getting a bit confusing. Anyways, and then he had his own son as a Robin. And between that, I think he had Stephanie Brown somewhere.
No, in that continuity, she never became Robin.
Well, but I mean, later on, I think they acknowledged she was Robin at some point.
In Rebirth, they acknowledged.
Yeah, so it gets very sticky. And then with Green Lantern, you got to acknowledge that Hal Jordan was Green Lantern. Mm-hmm. Guy Gardner was Green Lantern. John Stewart was Green Lantern. And then the whole Parallax situation.
Yep.
And Carl Rayner's Green Lantern. And then Hal Jordan coming back as Green Lantern.
Yep. Which would, if you add that stuff in, you got to acknowledge that Superman died.
Yes.
But then they said Superman did. So I'm saying this is where it gets really stupid.
Yeah.
They said in that 5 years gap, Batman's been around in the DC universe, the New 52 for 10 years, but it's only been known about for 5 years.
Yeah.
So in that 5 years when Superman, but I think apparently Superman's been around for 2 years.
Yeah.
Before the New 52, so he's been around for like 7 years. So in that time, he's already died.
Okay. Here's the thing, right? Straight up, they say from the new point of the New 52, where they rebranded it all, everything happened 5 years ago.
Yeah.
Then it started trickling in that they had to make alterations from that. But it was like, 5 years is the hard set timeline. That means a lot of things happened in these 5 years, which couldn't possibly have happened.
Nope.
Yeah, and that's why I think, like you're saying, they had to expand a little bit more here and there stretch the timeline around a bit and go, well, yeah, we kind of need to put this over here. How's Damien 11 years old,
Yeah.
right? If Batman started his career 5 years ago, when did he hook up with Talia? And then they're saying because of some apocalyptic aging chamber or whatever, Damien is actually only what 5
But
proper.
then it kind of broke its own logic because when crap, what was it? What was it? Because they still said that Batman Inc. happened, so
Yeah.
Yeah,
And then
so-
Batman's got to have Nightfall happening as well.
yeah,
And then they said that Dick Grayson was Batman, but not the Nightfall when he was in Nightfall, the other version where Batman supposedly died in
with,
Final Crisis.
RIP
Except that
and
then
that
they
stuff, yeah.
said that Darkseid had invaded Earth the first time when we get the Justice League to unite,
yeah.
and then he hadn't invaded Earth ever since. So then
No.
So are you telling me the heroes went and invaded Apocalypse?
Unless
That's how Batman died?
unless they're doing where he didn't die from that, but he died. You know, in Batman R.I.P. where
Oh,
what's his-
yeah.
Mr. Hurt
Well, that's the
killed
thing,
him.
isn't
Back.
it? Because that's when you say, we kind of, I don't know, maybe not.
Yeah,
We can, it's. I did kind of prefer when they did 0 Hour, where they were like, okay, here's the timeline, 10 years, right?
Hmm.
And then they kind of gave you the breakdown of what happened in this particular 10 years from when the heroes first appeared. And you're like, all right, fair enough. Actually, probably this stuff can happen within a 10-year timeline. By that point, though, in 0 Hour, they're saying basically the heroes appeared 10 years ago. That's the first appearance of Superman. And by the last of the 10 years, Tim Drake became Robin and Kyle Rayner was Green Lantern. And yeah.
but even that's kind of messy there.
Well, yeah, okay, but it's cleaner. It's cleaner
Is it?
to say everything else. Like, Hal Jordan was Green Lantern for 10 years. And Batman had his career for 10 years. Barry Allen was Flash for like 6 years, I think. And Wally West was Flash for 4 years.
But even that still seems a bit messy because Dick Grayson at this point is only meant to be like 18 or 19 or whatever it is.
In 0 Hour, yeah?
Yeah.
So they would say that Batman was Batman for 2 years. I think Dick Grayson joined in year 3. He was Robin for 4 years, and then he became Nightwing for 4 years.
But so what age did he become Nightwing?
So if he's 18, so he's okay. So I think he was Robin at 12. 4 years later, 16. Yeah, Nightwing is like 17ish.
Okay.
Well, at the end of the day, that makes more sense than this. Then
Yeah, it does. It does.
But the story leading to these points are just as convoluted, so we'll forget that.
Good point. Yeah.
But we'll just to give the parameters of where New 52 is, it's like that period of where was it set between? It's New 52, and then it went to DCU, and then Convergence, right? And then they rebranded into DC Rebirth.
No, then it was back to New 52, and then Rebirth came at the end of 2016.
All right, yeah. So then you put like a 5-year period.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, if you want, I can like list. Well, basically, like when they started New 52, they was like, "Hey, we're gonna bring out new 52 titles to go inside the name. New 52, clever, yeah."
So you're going to list the first wave, yeah?
Yeah.
And then the second wave. All right.
Yeah.
Come on. The first wave, June 2015, I believe.
What?
No. Wait, I'm getting mixed up.
Yeah.
When
First
was
wave
the-
September 2012, 2011.
Yep.
Yep. And the first wave was Action Comics, Animal Man, All Star Western, Aquaman, Batgirl, Batman, Batman Dark Knight, Batman and Robin, Batwing, Batwoman, Birds of Prey, Black Hawks, Blue Beetle, Captain Atom, Catwoman, DC Universe Presents, Deathstroke, Demon Knight, Detective Comics, The Flash, Frankenstein and the Agent of Shade, sorry.
Yep.
Fear of the Firestorm, The Nuclear Men,
Yeah.
Green Arrow, Green Lantern, Green Lantern Corp, Green Lantern New Guardians, Grifter, Hawk and Dove, I, Vampire, Justice League Dark, Justice League International, Legion Lost, Legions of Superheroes, Men of War, Mr. Terrific, Nightwing, OMAC, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Red Lanterns, Resurrection Man, Savage, Hawkman, Static Shock, Stormwatch, Suicide Squad, Superboy, Supergirl, Superman, Swamp Thing, Teen Titans, Voodoo, and Wonder Woman.
Yeah, let's just note how many Bat-related titles there are, by the way, in that first wave. Batman having 4 titles probably by himself.
Yep. And then all his related characters.
Yeah.
Bloody hell. And the thing is, I read all of these.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
some of them...
Tell you what, read off the second wave and when that happened, and then we'll go into like certain specifics of the stuff we read.
Oh, yeah, I was going to say... Yeah, actually... Okay, so with wave 2, to make way for the second wave, they had to cancel 8 titles, which was Black Hawk, OMAC, Static Shock, Hawk and Dove, Men of War, and Mr. Terrific.
Oh, wait, and let me ask.
Yeah.
Did they cancel them because they weren't doing well, or
Yeah.
they just? Because I never collected any of these.
They
Or
weren't
do you
doing
think
well.
they just like, you know what? We'll integrate these characters elsewhere.
No, they just weren't doing well. I think.
Probably, you know what? Yeah.
So I know Static Shock had some like writer problem.
Yeah, I think at a certain point they all kind of had issues where people like they didn't define how they were going to do it.
Yeah.
I think the same problem they had with when they were doing Crisis on Infinite Earths, where some people were still working off the previous continuity because no one said, okay, here's a hard set deadline for when you have to finish the stories, and then we'll go into the new continuity.
Yeah, because I know with Static, the person who wrote it was like, I don't like what you're trying to take this character, so I don't want to do it anymore. And I was like, after like issue 2.
Yeah, there was I think some shadiness going on with Birds of Prey as well.
And I think with Superman, because it was meant to be George Perez writing it, and then he jumped off, and then
I think he's saying, "F this." I don't know what's what. Right.
Yeah.
So I can't write anything because you can't. If you tell me that's not in continuity or that's in continuity, then it affects my story. So just forget that.
Yeah, so I think Dan Jurgens took over off of that. So wave 2 was Dial H, Earth 2, GI Combat, World's Finest, Batman Inc., and Ravengers.
Yeah.
Because I remember Ravengers came out of Teen Titans because of the weird little crossover in that, and then it sprang off to Ravengers.
Yeah. Like yourself though, actually, you know what? Let's go by the Bat titles first because that's what we're going to be saying.
Yeah.
And I think, like yourself, I collected most of the Bat titles. Yeah. I didn't collect Batman: The Dark Knight for some reason though.
I read. You didn't miss anything. Not being bad, you didn't miss anything.
Yeah.
The art was good, but the story was really rubbish.
Yeah, I think it's because I think David Finch.
Yeah.
He's a good artist, right?
Yep.
But when I flicked through it, I was like, I don't particularly. I think okay, one story where Bane was back, but Bane was made to look like an idiot, and I was like, but you can always do like this Venom Bane who wants to be big and massive, but is a dumb lumbering fool on another title. Not another title, with another character. Bane is not that though.
And at that point, they could have just made up a new character.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, like some people might not like Bane; they think he's overpowered and stuff like that. But
yeah.
at least go by how he was created. And if you don't want to use him, just don't use him. That's don't need to ruin the character because you don't like him.
But they got out of it by there's a new villain called White Rabbit who's actually controlling him.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
it's like,
I saw that. I was like, but that's kind of
yeah. It's like still, why did you need to use Bane?
White Rabbit walking around with her skimpy. I don't even say clothing because that's not what she's wearing, right?
No. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
And Nightwing was good. I like Nightwing.
Okay, so the thing is, right. So Batman started really good actually with the Court of Owls.
Yeah, that's the Zack Snyder. Scott Snyder stuff was great.
Yeah.
The other ones wasn't so. Batman and Robin was good, but everything.
Well, yeah. See, I liked Nightwing,
Yeah,
and they were kind of giving him prominence, but it was more of this. He's a character in a Batman title, and the Batman's the number one here, you know. So other characters cross over into Batman's titles, but they're never gonna have a main crossover where Batman crosses over into their titles, if you know what I mean. So it's never gonna be, say, for example, Nightwing, Court of Owls, and then Batman's crossing over into it.
yeah.
But they did good by Nightwing for during the Court of Owls crossover, because it's his grandfather
Yeah.
that was one of the talents.
Yeah.
So they kind
that's
of,
great.
and then they had the history where Nightwing was scouted by the Court of Owls,
Yeah.
and he's the Grey Son of Gotham.
Yeah, and it's like, oh, they're trying to bring origin to his surname. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't even convoluted origin as
No.
well. I was like, it kind of makes sense with the backstory and stuff like that. And it's like they deliberately kind of making him relevant, because he had to take on, even though Batman beat that Talon, that was Nightwing's grandfather. I think he did it in the manner where he's Batman. He don't fight like straight if you don't have to. But then they gave Nightwing the next match with the guy.
Yeah.
Because the guy was trying to say, like, Dick Grayson, come on, join us. I'll basically beat you up and kill you if you don't. And now I had to beat him straight. So, yeah, good on them.
And I liked how the Talon, there was another Talon who was in the first arc of Nightwing's comic. You know when he was traveling with the circus that he grew up in?
Yeah.
And you know he grew up a kid who became the bad guy of that
story. Psycho.
Yeah. Then doesn't he become Talon for a bit?
I think he was going to be. He got taken as a Talon.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't remember the exact story of it, whether he left or they ousted him because he wasn't as good as Nightwing. But basically, the Court of Owls was like, well, you're going to be our replacement for now. And he didn't have it. I don't want to say he didn't live up to his potential, but that's the whole point, isn't it?
Yeah.
Then he's like, oh, it's Dick Grayson. I want to hurt him for what he made the Court of Owls do to me, even though the Court of Owls didn't do anything, because now we got adopted by Batman. But you know how villain logic works.
Yeah,
so
there's no logic to villains. Yeah.
So that was pretty cool.
I can't remember. I barely remember the Red Hood tie-in.
Yeah, I was going to ask. Oh, well, Court of Owls in
Yeah.
general, or I think they didn't really have a so Red Hood. Like, you are correct. It wasn't even a crossover Red Hood. It was a tie-in.
Yeah.
So it was like something's happening here with Red Hood and maybe a Talon or whatever. He's in Gotham at the time.
Yeah.
And something's happened with the Talons. I think they're trying to kill the cops or whatever.
Something.
And he stops them. Oh no, he's got his own mission that he's doing. He just happens to be in Gotham.
Yeah.
I think he's threatening some huge ginger lady who's a crime boss. By the way, he's not just randomly threatening ginger ladies.
Like Susie Q or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah.
And then they get attacked by Talons.
Yeah, that was it. Yeah. And then they shoehorned Red Robin into it by saying, I remember them advertising for it, like in comics, like, and the Red Robin's going to finally.
Did you not find it strange that Red Robin did not have a title launched for himself?
Yeah.
And Red Hood did, you know what I mean? They're not saying they're like, but you would have thought the more recognizable name is Robin.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, because I remember his time was something. They just basically shoehorned him into an issue of Detective Comics.
All right.
Yeah. That was his only connection to.
What did you think of the Red Hood title by itself? The Red Hood and the Outlaws?
The art was amazing.
Yeah. Kenneth Rocafort, yeah?
Yeah. The first issue is quite questionable.
You're talking about the gratuitous scene with where Starfire walks up the water in her bikini.
None other than that, how they just basically make her into a sex object.
Yeah, okay. Now, you know what is even worse? I read elsewhere that, they coloured in her bikini, right?
Yeah.
But originally it was going to be, I want to say transparently covered, but you know how, like, when it was, they cover in the when it's wet and sticking to the skin, they color it white. So you don't see, obviously, the parts. But it's just like, I don't know, that bikini is kind of small to begin with.
Yeah.
So making it transparent is not... Like, you might as well just have had her... Like, at that point, if you're going to do that, you might as well just have had her naked. You know, that's the level you're going to. But to do it tastefully, I mean, like just put it from like silhouette from the back or something. You don't see nothing. You don't
That
need
needs
to.
to-
It's not. Yeah. Otherwise, it's just like, really, come on, man. That's why. That's why I want to say comics get a bad name. But
Yeah, but it's true though, you know, things like that.
when you have stuff like this,
Yeah. And then I remember also in that comic, they make reference to something in the old continuity, and then when they re-released it for the graphic novel, they edited it.
oh yeah, I think it was. It might have been that Starfire said she'd been in the Titans with Dick Grayson at some point,
Yeah.
but the Titans were never together.
Yeah, in this continuity.
Yeah, except that they kind of were towards the end of it because they put the memories coming back for the rebirth,
Yeah.
where Wally West came back. But then it's like, oh, I mean, how can Team Titans be the Titans team and there was the team before that
Yep.
if this team of Titans never existed?
Because even in Teen Titans, there's another reference where Tim Drake calls himself Robin, and again in the collected version, they edit it to say, yeah, when I was Red Robin with Batman.
Oh, then at one times you might as well explain why you called yourself Bartor.
Yeah, yeah. We'll get into that later. At the moment, I just can't. And then, but I try other books. Green Lantern was good because
Green
then-
Lantern, basically, because it was a space opera, it ignored what was going on. It didn't need to attach itself to anything that was happening on Earth, so they could skirt by everything.
but it kind of have to, because like the last issue of Green Lantern before the New 52 was when Sinestro killed I can't remember who it was, to become the Green Lantern again.
Yeah.
And that all happened on Earth.
Oh no. What I'm saying is though, because they're not too concerned in Green Lantern. They weren't really concerned about anything that was happening. So you could say, okay, this Earth timeline was blah 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 blah. Like we have this with Batman. It's just like, okay, because it takes place in space.
Yeah.
We can exercise certain things and just pretend whatever.
Yeah, true.
Like we were saying though, there's a lot of continuity they fit in those supposed 5 years.
Yeah.
But
it
it doesn't affect them as much as most. They basically were like, shrug, we'll just continue.
Yeah. And
Which you can't really do with Batman because he has a kid there and then the X amount of Robins and stuff like that. But they were just shrug. Let's continue anyways.
Yeah.
We don't care.
And then you had what other... There's a few.
Oh, your boy Superman, where Grant Morrison reset his. Well, okay, the first issue of a couple of issues. No, the first. What would you say? 25 issues of Action Comics was the reintroduction of Superman, like i.e. Superman Year One.
Yeah.
And then it
It's
skipped
pretty
along
good.
to current day Superman.
Yeah.
In that.
But then apparently with that as well, don't know how true this is, there was no communication between that and Action Comics and Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Grant Morrison would write something and then obviously that's set in the past.
Yeah.
So when you're doing stuff in the future, I'm like, wait, what?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly. I did collect that though, and I was like, okay, certain things were kind of neat, but this is Grant Morrison we're talking about, who's kind of a bit off key sometimes.
Yeah.
Smokes the wacky backy, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Other...
And he's a practicing magician.
Yeah. He's hilarious. Did you read The Flash as well?
Yeah, but only because look, Wally West. I was like, okay, we're gonna see my boy Wally West. Oh, I guess it's the Flash, right? And then when I see my boy Wally West, I'm like, hold on a minute, it's not the Wally West I know.
It wasn't Wally West at first. He didn't come into like halfway through the way.
But like, oh, wait for this character to come back for so long. It's like, no, actually, in this continuity, he hadn't existed yet.
Yep, none of them existed. I read Green Lantern not Green Lantern, sorry, Green Arrow. The first 16 issues were a bit. Not gonna lie.
Is this where they reintroduce him and set in the continuity like the series where he was on the island?
They
and China
started doing that, I think, later, like halfway through the first wave. That's like, yeah, we're gonna sort of to the whole island stuff and make it sort of coincide with the TV show a bit, which made it better.
Oh, right. Was it not as good as to begin with?
No, it was like he was just some like rich kid. I know he always is a rich kid, but he lived in Seattle for one.
Yeah.
Which was weird.
Yeah.
And yeah, it just wasn't all that good.
Did you read Superboy?
Yeah.
Now let me just point out, this is not Superboy Con L, and nor is it Superboy when Superman was a boy. Superman, it's Clark Kent. It's not even John Kent, his son, because he ended this at this point, right? What was this Superboy?
He was like Connor Kent.
Yeah.
He was a clone.
Yeah.
But this is jumping forward. You find out that he's not actually a clone of Superman.
Yeah.
He's actually a clone of Superman's son, John, in the future, who is evil. So there's weird time shenanigans where they got his... Yeah.
So it's just like, right, but I don't know why you just couldn't have Connor Kent then at this point.
Yeah, exactly.
But, yeah, and as well on Superman and Wonder. I just think sometimes the New 52 was just decided, let's wipe the slate clean and let's put Superman and Wonder Woman together.
I actually like that.
Oh no, it's not. I didn't like it, but it's just the logic is he's married to Lois, right?
Yeah.
So we won't have. He can't really be in another relationship unless you're going to wipe its continuity, right? Which is fair enough.
Yeah.
But then they're like, well, but they are married. It's just this is a separate universe. Superman. I was like, oh my goodness.
Now the whole dumb thing with like, we'll move on to like the third way in a minute, but like the whole dumb thing with that was like, I was like, okay, cool. You said you wiped everything clean, nothing happened. So why does he have to get with Lois?
Yeah.
I mean,
I like the idea of it. The execute. Okay, first of all, I was like, I think they just wanted to put in Wonder Woman because they wanted to do that, right? It seemed like
it makes sense.
But it was like fair enough. He doesn't need to get to with Lois in this continuity at this moment. We'll eventually get to her. This is probably how, by the way, they should have done Spider-Man one more day. Just waiting for a reboot, and then you could have put him in another relationship, and then, anyways.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, fair enough, and they kind of worked the things to happen in a way that I want to say seemed natural, but I think at some point they teamed up to fight Feyre and Zod.
Yeah.
So like fair enough. So that okay, good. And Lois was his friend.
Yeah.
And I don't think they were having feelings towards each other.
No.
So, but Steve Trevor was being a bit of a, he got left in the wind.
I like that though. Again, it's like, okay, cool. You've got away from like these established relationships. Even the Flash, he wasn't with Iris. He was with what's her name?
Patty Spivak.
Yeah, and I was like, that's all cool, but things can never last in comics.
No. So I never collected it at the time. I know you went through it before when we were talking about Death of Superman. But so how did original black suit bearded Superman come back? It was Convergence.
Yeah, which we could touch upon later or now. It's up to you.
Okay. Well, we'll have to run through. If you could quickly run through it, because then we have to run through why Superman died and then how Superman got absorbed by Superman into new version of Superman. It's like, oh, jeez. And then his whole relationship with Wonder Woman didn't happen because he's with Lois. Yeah. And then what happened to that Lois Lane of the New 52 continuity? Yeah.
It's all broken. Okay. So, by Wave 3. When it made a year that the New 52 happened, they had a month where they just did year ones. So it's basically like everyone's origin story for the new universe.
Issue zeros, right?
Yeah. And this also made stuff a lot muddy.
Yeah. And
stuff that they pretended never happened, i.e. Red Hood was always destined to be Red Hood because the Joker manufactured everything in his life to that certain point.
Yeah, and everyone's like,
"What?
Joker is Vince McMahon? Is that what you're telling me? It was him all along."
Yeah.
Shut up.
And they never touched upon that again because it got a bad reaction.
Yeah.
And this is where we got Tim Drake's new origin, which was stupid.
Yeah, where he's not, his actual name is not Tim Drake.
No.
His parents are witness protection. He's Timothy something something, right?
Yeah.
Is this the one where he was at school and the headmaster was funneling funds or whatever?
Yeah.
No, it's part of the story, but that's not
Part
the
of
full story.
And then he hacked into the penguins, something through the penguin. He hacked into his like fun stuff, and the penguin tracked it back to him. And that's why they tried to kill his parents, and then he got put into solitary confinement. And you're like, okay, what?
Yeah. Like, but then now I think he's at this point of 10 years later, he's just been Tim Drake all the time. He's never been no fake whatever, right?
Yeah. Again, that's
like
another thing they just wiped out that never happened.
Yeah, exactly.
Um,
Because Rebirth was the fix of everything, right?
Yeah.
Just like what we decided what we're going to choose here and what was bad reactions and what was. Oh my God. Actually, we didn't touch upon it, but Cassandra Cain, Batgirl, how they messed my lady up.
yeah. Which I don't mind, but yeah.
No, it's just the mind wipe. Then the fix was even worse. It was like you might have just left it and sweep it under the carpet, pretend it never happened. That's one of the things that you should have just let, like, yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then for Wave 3 to happen, some more titles got cancelled.
Yeah.
Captain Atom, which the art was amazing and the story was quite amazing because they kind of made him like Doctor. Because technically, he's technically Dr. Manhattan, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So he was like basically living like, wow, I'm a god amongst these people. Nothing they do really matters.
Yeah.
And that was a good story, but they cancelled that. Same with Justice League International, which was meh.
Yeah.
Resurrection Man, which was meh. And Voodoo, which the art was amazing, but it is what it is. That gave way to Phantom Stranger, Team 7, which was a weird old team of former assassins and stuff, like Deathstroke, Black Canary, and so forth. Sword of Sorcery, which I never read, and Talon, which span out of obviously the Court of the Owls stuff.
Yeah. So this is just a random other talent, right? It's not like it was Dick Grayson's grandfather talent. It was just one of the other talents that happened to. After the storyline was involved, he was still walking around, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, was there a reason? There was a reason, right? Did he break his mind control?
Yeah, he broke his mind. I think in Court of Owls, someone talks him out of becoming of being a Talon still.
Yeah.
I think it might have been in like Suicide Squad or something. Someone.
Okay.
And then he went on his own for a bit.
Yeah. That which was a good concept. I never collected it because I was like, well, I've got too many back towels already, you know.
Yeah.
And some of these aren't the greatest either.
Yeah, I was like, whatever. Someone will tell me about it. So I just thought.
Let me ask you. Did you collect the Earth 2?
Yes, I did.
That was really good, right?
That was super awesome, man.
I think so. And when it started getting a bit weird after when they started doing the weekly series.
Oh yeah, that's later on. Earth 2 World's End.
Yeah.
Every 2 weeks, I think, came out.
Yeah, that's it. I was like, okay, they're gearing for Darkseid invading again, which was good. But then I think because it had to move at a quicker pace, because like saying twice monthly, it was just like we're just going to get things done a bit quicker than we should.
Yeah, we're going to kill everyone when we can. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly that. But I like to pre that as well.
Yeah.
And I can see when they were gearing up for the apocalypse invasion. Fair enough, everything would be chaotic, but it just seemed like the comic itself was chaotic, you know, because they had like 3-4 different artists on it.
Yeah, to keep up with it, innit?
Yeah.
And then,
but did you see the new 50, the Earth 2? What was the revival series after they had the new Earth after Convergence? What was it called?
It was Earth 2 Society.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I think he kind of tapered down from there.
Yeah.
I mean, the art was. I did like the artwork. Was it George Jimenez?
Yeah, he's awesome. Yeah. And then in December, January of 2013, the fourth wave came, and to make way for the fourth wave, they cancelled Blue Beetle, which was pretty good.
Yeah.
Even though a lot of it was a rehashing of the previous 52 Blue Beetle, but whatever.
Yeah.
Frankenstein, Agent of Shade, GI Combat, Grifter, and Legion Lost. Also, at this time, Hellraiser and Vertigo just finished. So I was like, hey, we can finally bring Constantine into the new 52 and no one can complain. Which
Okay. I tell you what's okay. So Vertigo always, for some reason, right? They would like when Constantine was in that continuity, they're like Constantine's gonna age normally. Every year in the real world, a year in Constantine's timeline, which then had to set him in Vertigo because no one else was affected by real time.
Yeah.
But when they wrote him into this, then they just basically say, well, Constantine's gonna go by the comic timeline.
Yeah.
Okay. Well.
Okay.
Okay.
Sure.
Which is fair because he's now in their universe. So
Yeah, so it makes sense, doesn't it?
He'd have been like 70, and then he'd be like, that's a bit weird.
Yeah. And then the fourth wave was Threshold, never heard of it. Katana, forgot she had her own title. Justice League of America, I remember this because I've read that.
Yeah.
Justice League of America, Vibe. And Constantine.
Yeah.
Yes.
I did get Justice League of America because Brian Hitch was doing it.
No, this was before Brian Hitch. This was with Jeff Johns was writing this one as well.
Oh, sorry, no.
You're thinking of Rebirth.
Yeah, exactly. No, I'm sorry. You're right. Justice League, when Jeff Johns was writing it, and when they had to introduce the team getting together, where they were very violent towards. Okay, Darkseid's violent, right? But when they stabbed him in the eye and then they pitchforked him in the other eye, right, to stop his Omega beams, I'm like, ooh, that's kind of. And then he's still fighting them while he's got two like just things in his eyes. Yeah.
So I know you're thinking of.
But they made him like 6 foot. They made him like 9 foot plus, right?
Yeah. You're talking about Justice League. This is Justice League of America.
Yeah. Sorry, yeah.
This was when the government went like, hey, the JL ain't playing by rules. We need to make our own Justice League. What should we call them? Justice League of America.
Yeah. Because that title now is JLA. So
yeah. Because I think.
Right. So that reminds me, as we're talking about Justice League. Yeah. So this is where they swapped out Cyborg for Martian Manhunter. When I say swapped out, literally pretend that Martian Manhunter was never part of the origin of the team.
Yeah, and then he joined the Justice League with the government one, Justice League of America, with Green Arrow.
Yeah.
Him, I think it was Adam Strange.
Yeah.
And I can't remember who else was on the team.
All I know is that when Apollo and Midnighter were like Martian Manhunter. Oh, this was Stormwatch, yeah.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, Martian Manhunter was part of Justice League, and then he goes, we never talk about that. Like, all right, so he was, and then he wasn't. All right.
Yeah, he could have been that far. It's one of those things. I don't know.
Yeah.
Wait, what's that? Yeah, I didn't read Constantine.
No, I would have liked to, but I just yeah.
Because he was by that time. I think they sort of put him into Justice League Dark, and I was kind of reading that, so I was like, cool. That's my fix there, I guess.
Yeah.
And then in May,
Yeah.
of the same year, 2013, they cancelled a few more books to make way for the fifth wave. The books that were cancelled were I, Vampire, DC Universe Presents, Ravengers, Savage Hawkman, Firestorm, Fury of the Firestorm, Sword of Sorcery, Team 10, and... Sorry, not Team 10, Team 7, sorry. And Deathstroke.
Yeah.
At this point, I totally forgot that Firestorm had a book.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Well, we were just concerned about the stuff that we are collecting, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Because I knew someone was saying Hawkman was still good at this point, but it was Hawkman.
Well, look, so Hawkman's got a whole murky history himself. So I tend to I tend to stay away from that because it like even from the Crisis on Infinite Earths, no one knew who Hawkman was going on about. I think Jeff Johns did a really good retcon of he had multiple lives and reincarnation. That's why you get some of these things that go a bit weird.
Yeah, which makes
And
sense.
then they combine all the Hulk God and whatever. But he came up with a solution that kind of worked everything that continuity-wise was a bit weird.
Yeah, which is rather questionable.
Yeah.
And then Deathstroke. I remember I was on and off reading Deathstroke because at the start it was good because Carl Higgins was writing it.
Yeah.
Then he left.
Yeah.
And then it was Rob Liefeld writing it, and it was weird.
Yeah.
And he was writing and drawing as well. So oh, I can't.
Was he still drawing people with no hands?
Yeah.
Hands and feet?
Yeah.
Like he has an aversion to that.
So I just gave up, and when they ended, I was like, oh, okay, cool, I guess. But the books that came out, because of those books died, so these books can live.
Yeah. Yes.
Which is funny because you'll see how long some of he's lost. The Movement, never heard of that. Green Team, Teen Trillionaire, never heard of that.
No.
Superman Unchained, I heard of this because why is he saying that? Scott Snyder was writing this.
Yeah. It's a 12-issue miniseries, technically.
Yeah, and it took like a year or two to actually finish.
Yeah.
Lara Feliz, Batman.
That's the Orange Lantern, by the way. Let's look at Love Fleas is the Orange Lantern.
Yeah, Agent Zero. Was that
Agent Orange.
Orange, that was sorry. Superman, Batman, and Trinity of Sin, Pandora.
Yeah, which was the Phantom Stranger, The Question, and Pandora.
Yeah. Which they retcon The Question to be like a curse.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
Vic Sage is not Vic Sage, the original Question. Like basically a dude with the face mask. With no features. No, he's could be quite possibly Judas Iscariot. No, hold on, am I thinking of Phantom Stranger? Which one did they retcon as Judas Iscariot?
I think it might have been. No, I think it was Phantom Stranger. And
they didn't say, by the way, explicitly was. They just gave enough hints that you can come to that conclusion, and then they could backtrack and say, "Well, no, we don't want to. We don't want to say that the Phantom Stranger actually is a character from the Bible."
Yeah, because I can't remember their weird retcon to Question. I just remember he saw something, and because he saw something, they
bound his face.
Yeah,
to some degree
like that.
Yeah.
So
the wacky world of comics, eh?
Yeah, I remember Batman and Superman having cool art by Jai Lee.
Who?
Jay Lee? It's like it looks all weird and gothic, but I think that might be later on. Yeah. And then not long after that, in October 2013, Wave 6. Wave 6 came, and once again, for the new books to live, 6 had to die. Was it 6? Yeah, 6 had to die. So it was Demon Knights. Again, another book I read at the start and just fell off.
Yeah.
Because I like the Ryan Choi art. Not Ryan Choi. Mike Choi art, but he left. Yeah. Legion of Superheroes. Threshold. See, didn't last long. Dial H and technically Batman Inc., but Batman Inc. ended, so it didn't get cancelled. So.
Yeah. Okay, I tell you what's strange with Batman Inc., by the way.
What?
So pre-New 50, they had the storyline that was still going, and they kind of took the break where New 52 was starting.
Yeah.
Right? But then they had an issue that come out during New 52 that they said was set in the previous continuity. Like, oh, man. You know?
A lot of it,
Even though then it was, because it was like, it was a story in the old continuity, and once you slot that in, it can read through to the new continuity and like, okay.
Sure.
Well,
yeah, sure.
Oh, by the way, did you like Grayson, the series Grayson?
Yeah, I love that.
So
which came the year later.
Yeah. So Forever Evil was part of the New 52, right?
Yeah.
Which actually, first of all, what did you think of that? It's alright, yeah.
I liked it.
Yeah.
I knew that Dick Grayson wasn't gonna die.
Yeah.
A bit obvious.
Yeah, I thought he was going to be a bit more prominent than he was as well. It'd have been nice to have him lead him and Lex Luthor basically lead the team of villains or whatever, right? Against the what were they called? The Justice? No,
yeah, it's Crime Syndicate.
That's it, the Crime Syndicate of America. Yeah. But they kind of just had him got captured.
I kind of
And
liked it that way better because they did it like their reasoning for capturing him made sense.
oh yeah, yeah. But it would have been nice if he was other than being a gimmick to be captured and being a hostage, and then getting killed and then moved into the Grayson series. It was like, okay, let's say he broke out of his being captured and he was trying to work out what's going on within their hideout or something. Just give him something to do other than just be like, yeah, I'm tied
Man,
him
it's
down and
Justice
now.
League book. Why are you gonna promote this dude?
Oh yeah, well, yeah, well, they should like, oh, now you're making him a lower tier character than he should be.
Well, to be fair, he's in the grand scheme of things, he's a B-list character.
Yeah,
So
it's true. It's true. That's unfortunate, isn't it? Because we'd like him to be A-list.
yeah,
But the Grayson series was really fun. I enjoyed it.
yeah, I love that.
It's a shame they couldn't move that tone on into the Nightwing series because it'd been. I know it's a fun spy adventure, but the writers can still write the new series of Nightwing in this sort of vibe.
I'm trying to remember Nightwing after that came back.
Where he had to fight. What's that guy? When the storyline was better than Batman.
Oh, that was Reboot. That's Rebirth though, because after Grayson, he came back being Nightwing, and actually had a continue series off that. But I can't remember what happened after that. Yeah.
Well, I don't want to say, oh, that's how relevant it was. The story they obviously clearly did not write anything that's worth. I want to say worth remembering, but we just forgotten between everything that's been happening since that point.
Because it was good, but I can't remember. Because all that's stuck in my head now is this Rebirth Nightwing because it was good.
Yeah.
I can't remember anything.
Oh, you know what? What it might be is that Grayson finished, and then he went into Rebirth. I think they were probably priming Grayson into we're going to relaunch Nightwing, so Rebirth is going to start from this point. You finish your storyline at this point, and then.
No, because Rebirth happened like a good 3 years after.
Oh, is it?
Yeah.
All right.
Second.
I can't. I can't recall.
Yeah. I'll sort that. Yeah, I'll find out in a minute. Yeah. Yes, but before we talk about Wave 7, I forgot to say what books came in Wave 6. Superman, Wonder Woman. This is where they had their relationship, and he fought Zod and Ursula, whatever her name is.
Wait. Was it Feora or Ursa in this?
Whatever one was in the movie.
Ursa.
Yeah.
Right.
Which
movie?
Man
Because
of
Feora
Steel.
was in Man of Steel.
Yeah, there was her.
Yeah.
Yeah. Harley Quinn got her own solo title.
Yeah.
And then this random book, which was weird, but alright. Justice League 3000.
Okay.
Did you ever read that?
No, I assume this is based in the future, right?
Yeah. They're all clones somehow of the Justice League from the past, but with weird things to them. Like the Green Lantern's power came from a cape, if I remember correctly. I've got it here. I haven't read it in ages. Yeah.
Okay.
And yeah, it was weird. I'll have to
Right.
read it again. We'll probably talk about it another time.
Yeah.
And then April 2014, Wave 7 happened. And this is when everything, the event around Wave 7 as well was Forever Evil, which we just talked about. And due to this, some comics ended because it fed into Forever Evil, such as Nightwing, Suicide Squad, Teen Titans, and I think Animal Man. Yeah. And Animal Man I'm quite sad I never read because I heard that was actually really good and dark.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also, Justice League of America ended after this and it became Justice League United.
Yeah.
No, I don't know. And then the other books that actually got cancelled was Justice League of America Vibe, Katana, Batman Dark Knight, no surprise there.
Yeah.
Talon, Green Team, again, never lasted that long. Laughley's, The Movement, and sadly Stormwatch, which I thought was really good. And the books that sort of span out of Forever Evil were Aquaman and the Others, Batman Eternal, Sinestro, Secret Origins, Justice League Justice League United, the New 52 Future End, Sinestro,
Yeah.
Infinite Men and the Forever People, Grayson, New Suicide Squad, New Teen Titans, Star Spangled War stories featuring G.I. Zombie, Multiversity, Gotham Academy, Lobo,
Yeah. Oh my goodness.
Earth 2's World Ends, Clarion, the boy witch thingy-majig,
Yeah.
Arkham Manor, and Deathstroke again. Yeah.
Right, now let's just point out we didn't mention our boy Lobo, right?
Yeah.
So turns out Lobo, big bulky Lobo with the beard and the shaggy hair,
Yeah.
never was Lobo to begin with.
Nope.
There's some new Lobo
Yeah.
who I don't know why fake Lobo. Okay, old Lobo took his identity and became a fake Lobo.
Yeah.
The real Lobo came along and chopped this guy's head off or whatever.
Yeah.
And then at some point, everyone's like, "This is this is something we're going to sweep under the carpet." New Lobo, it's just back to old Lobo. What happened to new Lobo? Who knows? Who knows? Whatever.
It was stupid.
We never mentioned him. He never existed. What are you talking about?
It's just dumb.
Yeah.
Like, the character design for new one wasn't bad or anything, but it's just like,
Yeah.
just...
It's just that for X amount of years, the personality of Lobo was his draw.
Yeah.
And his over the topness. I wouldn't say, he's the equivalent of DC Deadpool, because he's not. But I'm just saying that sort of craziness happens in his books, right?
Yeah.
And then you try to make it more strained out.
Yeah.
With a quote unquote cool character.
Yeah.
But he just doesn't have the same charisma.
No, not at all. Yeah, it was stupid. Yeah. And then this is when DC had... Did you hear about Future End?
Future's End, yeah, that storyline, that weekly storyline.
Yeah.
The only thing of note to say was basically Terry McGinnis came back from the future.
Yep.
Right?
Yeah.
And then Future End, is 5 years from this point of the DC timeline? Is it 10 years?
I think it might be 5. There's 5, it's 5, it's 5.
Yeah. So then Terry McGinnis came back. He tried to stop something. He got killed or whatever.
Yeah.
And Tim Drake takes the mantle of Batman Begins Batman after Tim Drake had been crippled or something like that. He couldn't be Robin anymore. But the suit now, the future thing from the suit helps him. Did he go back?
No, he didn't become crippled. He just, because of when Brother Eye took over in the future that they were gonna have.
Yeah.
All the Teen Titans died, and he was like, "I don't want to be a hero anymore because I've seen all my friends die."
When I say he got crippled, I thought he got some like leg injury or something like that.
No, he just.
All right. Because he was walking around with a cane, right?
No.
I think. Okay.
Yeah, it was. I read it. I thought it was good. They did have a weird, month where all the titles flash forward 5 years in the future.
Yeah. Actually, some of them stories were pretty good though.
Yeah, because that's when they showed you future Wally West.
Yeah.
And Batman had a Black Robin, which they never ever touched upon again. But then I think they sort of moved him over to being, what's his name? Signal. I can't remember that character's actual name. Duke Thomas?
Damn it. Forgot his name.
It's Duke something.
Yeah, Duke something. But or was that Batwing as well? Could that future Robin could have been Lucius Fox's son, Luke?
I don't know. He's only 5 years in the future. So actually, no, it wasn't 5 years.
It's true.
Was it 5 years?
It's
Yeah,
true.
5 years in the future. So who knows?
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
And also, this is when we talked about earlier. Earth 2 had their weekly series, World's End.
Yeah.
Which was just bat crap insane. Which was awesome. Also, this is when Teen Titans rebooted again, which made no sense to me. Again, I'm still reading it, but I just...
Yeah, was this?
Awesome.
Do you remember the storyline just before Rebirth was happening? Because they were trying to resolve the memories of missing memories there. Because Donna Troy rejoined the team,
Yeah,
even
that
though she somehow.
happens.
No?
That comes off the DC. Is it DCU? Because they bring. That's when they sort of introduce her.
See, I collected Titans, but then I stopped after a while. No, hold on, I didn't collect Teen Titans. I collected Titans.
That's Rebirth.
So that's why I don't know what was going on there.
Yeah, yeah, I can fill you in a minute. Yeah, it was. Yeah, lots of stuff restarted. I don't remember why.
But
And then,
generally speaking, they kind of started making a bit of a mess of things,
yeah, they did.
and then they were like, "Let's fix it on Rebirth." You know, we made so much of a mess in the 5 years between this point. We're like, whatever, Rebirth. Dr. Man has changed the timeline back or altered it or whatever.
Yeah.
Right until we get to the point of Doomsday Clock, where we reset the timeline to post-crisis, pre-0 hour. I mean, post-crisis / 0 hour timeline. It's like, okay,
Sure.
all right,
Whatever.
DC.
Did you read Batman Eternal?
Yes.
That
Wait.
was good.
Yes, both of them. Batman Eternal and Batman Robin Eternal.
Yeah.
Batman and Robin Eternal was when just after Batman's storyline with the Joker. I can't remember what it was. The
Endgame.
death of the family.
No, Endgame.
Is it Endgame?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Where he lost. They both fell in that pit.
Yeah, and they both got their memories wiped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. And then Batman and Robin Eternal was Dick Grayson being the kind of the lead
Yeah.
with the Robins
Yeah.
working out something that happened previous
When he was Robin.
Yeah.
And his mind got wiped, so he couldn't remember what actually happened.
Yeah.
Yeah. And
So that was kind of neat as well.
backtracking to see what happened. Yeah.
Well, it was neat in the story. It was like a Batman title without Batman.
Yeah. Just by title. His name was in it to sell. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It just helped them. That title, I think, helped elevate the rest of the team as well, because they weren't like just waiting for Batman to help solve the problems. Like, now we've solved the problem ourselves and we show our specific skills between us.
Because was it Batman Eternal, Batman Robin Eternal, where they introduced Cassie?
Oh yeah, that's Batman and Robin Eternal.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So
and Azrael they introduced as well, didn't they?
that storyline, they basically removed the Dominic Toretto of the DC universe,
Yeah,
and let the rest of the team solve the problem.
yeah, which is good. We'll talk about that more in a minute. And then November 2014, Wave 8 happened. By this time, they cancelled All-Star Western. That lasted very long. Wow.
Yeah.
Birds of Prey, Trinity of Sin, Pandora, Trinity of Sin, Phantom Stranger, Batwing, Superboy, and Superman Unchained, because it took forever to come out.
Yeah.
But with Wave 8, they only like brought out 2 new books. It was Gotham by Midnight, never heard of it, never read it, and Secret 6.
Yeah.
And
Look,
then go on.
I was gonna say, well, look, here's the thing, right? Some of these titles were good,
Yeah.
and some of them weren't so.
Yeah.
You would have thought like Gotham by Midnight would be more similar to Gotham Central, but I don't think it was quite like that, was it?
No, I don't think it was. I think they tried to capture that, but
The school kids.
no, that's Gotham.
Gotham what? High?
Yeah, I think that comes up in the next wave. Let me just quickly check.
Yeah.
I think
You know what? Gotham. Oh yeah, no. Okay, Gotham by Midnight is the a horror series,
Okay.
part of the Midnight Shift. They're saying the division of Gotham police that deals with the supernatural occurrences. Actually, that sounds quite interesting. Because the Spectre actually, is around those times, and I think that kind of. I don't know. I haven't read it. I didn't read it, but it sounds interesting. I probably should have picked it up actually. But
The school one you're talking about is Gotham Academy.
Yeah.
That was in the last wave. Yeah. I read a bit of that because a lot of those kids turn up in We Are Robin, which comes out a bit later.
yeah.
And then April 2015, Wave 9 happened, and for Wave 9 to happen, these books had to go. Aquaman and the others, Arkham Manor, Batman and Robin. Oh, I thought Batman and Robin lasted way to the end. My bad. Batwoman, Constantine, Earth 2, Green Lantern Corps, Green Lantern New Guardians, Star Spangled War Stories featuring G.I. Zombie, Infinity Man and the Forever People, Justice League 3000, Justice League Dark, Killian the Witch Boy, Red Lanterns, Red Hood and the Outlaws, Secret Origins, Supergirl, Swamp Thing, Trinity of Sin, and World's Finest. And additionally to that, Batman Eternal ended, Earth 2 World's End ended, and so did Future's End, which all led into Convergence. Yeah, so most of this all led into, well, Future's End and World 2 led into Convergence,
Yeah.
And that was in part of Wave 9 as well. So the ones, I'll quickly briefly go through what was in Wave 9 and then, so obviously Convergence, Batman Beyond, Bizarro, Midnight Art, and Mega Man.
Batman Beyond with Tim Drake as lead, or back to with Terry McGinnis as lead?
Tim Drake for the first 6 issues, and then I'll explain to you what else happens. All Star Section 8, never heard of that. Constantine Hellblazer.
Yeah.
Your favorite Earth 2 Society. Red Hood and Arsenal. Starfire, Black Canary, Doomed, Dr. Fate, Power Girl and Harley Quinn, Justice League of America again. Martian Manhunter, Prez, never heard of that. Robin, Son of Batman, Green Lantern, Lost Army, Justice League 3001, We Are Robin and Cyborg. If I remember during this wave, this is when that DCU thing happened, where they did slight tweaks to some characters, like change their costumes and things happened to them.
Yeah.
Like, this is when Jim Gordon was Batman.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So, something we didn't mention.
Yeah.
Because I know you mentioned the Power Girl title, so it was like, we've got to say. So, in Earth 2, Huntress... Oh, no. She was called Robin there, right? But Helena Wayne is actually the daughter of Batman and Catwoman.
Yeah.
And Power Girl is the adopted daughter of Superman, because that's just the original Supergirl origin, right?
Yeah.
And they got warped when they destroyed the Towers of Apocalypse, the first Apocalypse invasion that wiped out Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
These two got warped over into the current DC universe.
Yeah.
And so Huntress took the identity of Helena Bertinelli.
Yeah.
Right.
Who everyone thought was dead, but she wasn't dead because she was
They,
actually...
just got a bit weird as well, because once they warped themselves back into the Earth 2 timeline, Helena Bertinelli turns out was alive.
Yeah, but undercover.
And then
with
she was it was fair enough if you had she was a white lady with black hair, which what Helena Wayne looked like, but they altered this one to be black Italian.
Yeah.
Colombian or something like that, but it's just like, well, no, you're completely different.
Yeah.
Like, he's still a person's identity who does not look anything like you.
No, why couldn't you just be like Power Girl who just made up a new identity of Karen Starr?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that was weird. So that happened. Also, this is when Wonder Woman became the god of war, and she had armor, a proper armor, rather than her weird costume that she has.
Yeah.
To this day, I still question.
Hold on. When you say the weird costume she has, you mean the version that looked like cloth, or the one that looks like armor now?
No, her costume in general. I don't understand why she has pants.
Oh, the swimsuit. Okay.
Yeah.
So you, the tights or the. Okay, so you know how she's got a one-piece bathing suit essentially, right?
Yeah.
I prefer the version with the leggings.
Yeah, same here. When the original New 50 design, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I've heard that, but then they went with the other one, which was stupid.
Well, this armor gladiator look also works as well.
Yeah.
It's just that when she's got like a one-piece suit, bathing suit, it's just like, I don't know. I mean, that's just kind of
stupid.
Yeah.
Yeah. And this is when Superman was half powered because like he had his strength, but he couldn't fly,
Yeah.
and
And he was back to wearing the T-shirt and the
Yeah.
original symbol he had.
and he would tie bits of his cape around his fists.
Yeah.
That was awesome.
Because the cape was still invincible, right?
Yeah,
Okay, explain to me this, by the way, as you were collecting it.
yeah.
So, how did Superman and Wonder Woman break up?
They don't.
Oh, right.
They break
So-
up because he dies.
Yes, I was gonna say, all right, okay. I guess that's what happened, right?
Yeah.
When you say die, you mean he got absorbed by...
No, he dies.
Oh, okay. But then
I'll
how
explain
did
that to you in a
memories
minute.
go into the other Superman?
They don't. I'll explain all that to you in a minute as well.
Yeah, okay.
And this is when somehow all the Green Lanterns quote unquote died except for Hal Jordan.
Of course.
But he didn't have a power ring, so he was using this adapter backpack with a ring.
Yeah.
And he had long hair. It was weird.
Yeah.
But then you find out that the Green Lanterns actually got trapped in another dimension,
Yeah.
fighting someone else. Yeah. And the Red Hood changed his costume. The Flash had a new costume.
Yeah.
And they brought back Airborne Fawn.
Yes.
But he's not the Airborne Fawn that we know.
Let me ask you.
Yeah.
Okay. Flash got really weird with their reverse flashes because there was a reverse flash, which was Daniel West, who's the father of Wally West, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Then you got the reverse
Wallace
Flash
West,
who was reversed in the sense that now his symbol's not a circle, it's a square. Ooh,
Yeah.
reverse of a circle is a square. Yeah. Who was Eobard Thawne,
Yeah.
but they're not because then they put the original Eobard Thawne back.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, man.
Yeah. That's why
Then
time
they
travel
say
sucks.
that version of Reverse Flash, the square instead of a circle version didn't exist anymore or something like that.
Yeah.
Look, I can understand, by the way, how they write in Reverse Flash because he exists in his own separate timeline because he keeps coming back altering stuff. Fair
Yeah,
enough, yeah.
that makes sense,
I can accept that, but
But no.
yeah, it's
Yeah.
just like multiple versions of him that then you say don't exist, even though you say that they do exist and they are him, but they're not him. Yeah.
Oh gosh. And then what was the other weird thing that was going on this time? Black Canary was in a band.
Yeah.
Not on lie though, this story was actually good.
All right.
But it made no it was just like so she left the Birds and Prey and stuff to
Yeah.
become a singer in a band. I'm
Yeah.
confused.
At least, yeah.
Yeah.
All I can say is, you know what? Sometimes when they just be like, let's just separate the character from this and just let it do our own stuff because it's going to be a good story.
Yeah.
Trust us how it's going to be done.
Yeah.
You're like, all right, fair enough. It don't kind of fit with the continuity, but the story in itself in isolation is actually good.
Yeah. And then during all this stuff happening as well, so with Convergence, it was mainly the reason why Convergence happened because DC was moving their offices from New York to LA because it was cheaper. So they couldn't do everything else. So I was like, okay, cool. We're gonna stop every title, all these certain titles for these 2 months. I think it was 2 or 3 months, and we're gonna just focus on Convergence.
Yeah, which wasn't that. It was kind of wasn't particularly that good.
No, if you read it all the times like I did, it was okay.
What it was it was filler.
Yeah, it was.
That's essentially what it was.
Yeah. And then this also planted seeds for Rebirth, but I don't think they knew at that point.
Yeah,
because
exactly.
you visited all the old universes and stuff, and the ones that evolved like more heavily pre-52 stuff sold really well. So I think that was like a little seed in their brain, like, this could be our trump card for later.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Convergence happens, and the only ones really affected by Convergence was Earth 2, really.
Yeah.
But also Earth 1, which I'm going to get into with Wave 10. Quick, the titles got like cancelled in before Wave 10 was All-Star Section 8, Bizarro, Doomed, because Doomed made no sense. Gotham by Midnight, Green Lantern Lost Army, because DCU ended, so they had no need for it. Power Girl and Harley Quinn, Justly United because it made no sense as well. Lobo for reasons everyone knows, and Prez. So in Wave 10, there was Talos. He was a guy who they made a thing from Convergence. Yeah. Then Batman and Robin Eternal, which we spoke about. Superman hyphen Clark and Lois, which I'm going to talk to you about, and you're going to know about this. Yeah. Titans Hunt, again, another thing a seed planted from in Convergence. Superman, the American Alien. I don't know if that was in continuity. Same with Batman Europa.
Yeah.
Harley Quinn's Black Book was more of a comedy book. Swamp Thing got another book again. Yeah. Green Lantern Edge of Oblivion, which is basically the sequel to Lost Army. Poison Ivy's Circle of Life and Death, never read it. Suicide Squad, Most Wanted, Katana, and Deadshot, which was so trying to be like the movie that came out the same year. Superman and the Coming of Superman, written by Neil Adams. That's what I'm going to say. Legends of Tomorrow, because the show was out.
Yeah.
Bloodlines and Harley and the Harley Gang. Okay. Superman and Professor Clark and Lois.
Yeah.
So this was basically during Convergence, yeah.
Yeah.
They did a Superman story where a chunk of Earth from our old universe was in a bubble, and Superman lost his powers, so he was able to get Lois pregnant, right? Yeah, and they had a kid, and this Earth managed to they managed to survive the Convergence, and they ended up on the New 52 Earth. But so Superman didn't want everyone to know who he was. He came up with a new name. I think it was like Clark Adams or something. I can't remember what their names were. And they lived on like a remote island somewhere where no one really knew who they were. He grew out his beard. And he kept on getting visions of current day Superman.
Yeah.
Yeah. And someone was tracking him down, and you found out the person tracking him down was from the government, if I remember correctly. And you're like, oh, okay, cool. So they actually on this Earth. And then this sort of led to the death of Superman. So somehow, at this point as well, New 52 Superman has the ability to shoot off solar flares.
Yeah.
And when he uses that solar flare, he loses power for like 24 hours. And all the times he's done this, the energy that's come off him has formed into a human being or into an entity who thinks he's Clark Kent.
Yeah.
And he finds other Clark Kent and goes, "You're an intruder." And he's like, "Wait, what? Who are you?" So they have a fight. And why this is happening, New 52 Superman finds out he's dying.
Yeah.
From radiation poisoning, from him keep on doing this. So they try to save him, and then pre-52 Superman, Black Suit Superman, finds him and says, "Yeah, dude, I'm going to try and help you survive." But he can't, obviously. So everyone's trying to help him, and he lets off another solar flare. Maybe dies, but he survives that. He also gets kryptonite poison as well, because there's one bit where he has to get something from a vault, and in the vault is loads of kryptonite, and he powers through to get the thing out or whatever.
Yeah.
So it ends with him and he's solar clone fighting, and he realizes the only way he can defeat the solar clone is to absorb the solar clone. But if he does that, he dies.
Yeah.
And one of them is like, "No, you can't do this. I love you, blah, 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 blah." But he's like, "Sorry, I've got to do it." And then this is when New 52 Lois announces her love for him too.
Yeah.
Yeah. So he absorbs it and dies, and then Black Superman's like, "I will carry on your legacy. I guess I got to come out of the shadows and be Superman."
But I'll tell you what, the strange thing is though, because effectively Black Suit Superman is a character that the rest of Justice League haven't met before.
Oh, they touched upon that. Yeah.
Yeah, so they're not supposed to trust him, whatever, right? All of a sudden he's their bestie, and they were like, "Yeah, you remember me?" And I'm like, "All right."
Yeah, kind of.
That's why I say, did he absorb his memories, or did he work himself into the? No, yeah, whatever, you know.
I'll explain that to you as well in a minute.
Okay.
And then I also meant to say that he got the radiation poison as well from the Darkseid War.
Yeah.
Yeah, where you find out that Darkseid has a child on Earth who is the mother of, I think, of Wonder Woman's brother.
Oh, I don't know.
Wonder Woman has a brother called Jason, but he links into the Apocalypse stuff. But I can't remember how he actually does.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was the New 52.
Wait. Let me just say, by the way, the Darkseid War was actually quite engaging. But,
yeah, it's good.
It was like in 4 acts, and I think it went over in the Justice League title for about a year, right?
Year or 6 months.
Yeah.
It was quite long.
Yeah.
And that's when Batman finds out about the Joker, when he goes on the Mobius chair.
Oh, okay. Well, we're going to have to get into that storyline a bit later on, the 3 Jokers, which was like, something in itself. Let's put it that way.
So I think what else happened. Yeah, you find out one of them's got a brother. Also, this is where in like the Titans and stuff, like we said before, where they start getting memories back of their old 52 lives.
Yeah.
And of Wally, they remember everything, but they're like, someone's missing, but they can't they can't think of who it is.
Yeah.
And obviously Rebirth, they're like, oh, it's Wally, yay.
Yeah, exactly. I think at that point they were like, we're mucking ourselves up a little bit. Let's fix up, you know?
Yeah. And this time as well, Grayson's become back being Nightwing.
Yeah.
Also, we've forgot to mention that Damien died and came back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was cheap, as we know, right?
Yeah. Also, my favourite 2 of New 52 things that were just stupid and never should have happened.
Yep.
Bart Allen.
Yes, Bartor.
So he's not related to Barry Allen whatsoever. He's actually from the year 3000, which technically he is.
Yeah.
Originally, but he's actually a freedom fighter who started a revolution but accidentally killed his sister and then gave himself in. But they said in the future, this is a weird thing they do, they wipe your memory. Well, if you get convicted from a crime, they wipe your memory and then send you to the past.
Yeah.
So that's what they did with him.
Yeah, and then I don't know, how did they resolve that? Because I know they put Bart Allen / Impulse actually back after Rebirth.
They just pretend that never happened.
Yeah, same with the Superboy.
Yeah.
The New 52 Superboy, like, yeah, okay, whatever.
Yeah. Even though that went weird for a while as well, because he died.
Yeah.
And then the person he's cloned from pretended to be him and was in the Teen Titans. And then, it was weird. But that was the New 50. So, little evaluation. Do you think the New 52 was worth it? Anything good came out of it?
Look, there were some good stories, but they were good despite New 52, I'm going to say.
Yeah.
They were just going to be good stories, were going to be good anyways, right?
Yeah.
I think they had good ideas, but some ideas were not so good.
Yeah.
And they got to the point where, like I say, they were like, we need a crisis to refresh this because we're getting ourselves a bit too much of a headache here.
Yeah.
What can we say doesn't exist? Oh, we just need another crisis.
How did Batman end in a New 52? Like, that version of Batman? Because I know Scott Snyder wrote the whole thing, right?
Yeah.
I can't remember how it ended. Because I know the Bright Machine, where that's how Batman got his memories back.
Yeah.
I think he had Joker.
Did he... Wait, New 52?
Yeah.
I can't remember. I was going to say about the wedding, but actually that didn't happen then. That happened after Rebirth.
Yeah, I just can't remember. It was, but yeah, the Batman stuff was was pretty solid.
Yeah. The Green Lantern stuff wasn't too bad, but that's because they were basing it off old continuity. Though I did think they started spreading themselves a bit too thin with the amount of titles they had. They didn't need to have that many titles.
No, they didn't at all.
Yeah. Like I said, but Superman was a bit weird.
Yeah. Superman's a bit weird. Another weird one was freaking Deathstroke, because it came back.
Yeah.
And then he had his kids, like Rhodes and Jericho.
Yeah.
But it was weird because they flipped it, like Jericho was the young one and Rhodes was the older one.
Did he also have his first son as well?
Yeah, but he dies at the way beginning, isn't it?
Yeah.
And then in in Rebirth, they flip it back again where Jericho's the older one and Rose is the younger one.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay, I guess.
Yeah. Yeah. I want to say what was the point of New 52, but I don't want to make it sound that harsh.
No, I get what you mean. Like, if it was thought out better, I reckon it would have ended. It would have been a lot better. I mean, we might still be going now, but
I do think Rebirth was probably the better relaunch.
Yeah, it was.
That the New 50 probably could have been. But at that point, they were like, we're just going to reset everything to get it.
Yeah, kind of was the best in a way.
Well, let's put it this way. It's ups and it's downs, and probably did have slightly more downs than ups, right?
Yeah, that is true. But good things came out of it. Like, once, like in Rebirth, where they rejiggered things, like if they never rejigged Wallace West, I would say that's probably one of the worst things that come out of Rebirth. But they rejigged him, and it's like, okay, he's his own character. He's never meant to be the character that they wanted him to be in the first place, if that makes sense.
Yeah. When you say Wallace West, you don't mean which one? You mean wait, which one's Walter? Walter's the ginger one, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
You're Wally.
Yeah.
Yeah, everyone's Wally. And then Wallace is New Kid Flash. It's like, okay, now because you've established they're two different people, it's good.
Yeah. There are lots of things I think they did later which fixed the things that they started causing problems with before.
Yeah.
Let me put it that way.
I didn't. You want to know about the Superman thing, right? How?
Yeah. Let's cap off with that.
Yeah. So after, because at this point everyone thinks Clark Kent's dead as well, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. But then Clark Kent comes back, and pre-52 Superman's like, but he's dead. How was he here? And then there's a whole storyline. Luthor becomes Superman for a bit in his suit and that. And
Which was good, by the way. I think it was a kind of a neat idea.
Yeah.
Lex Luthor, Man of Steel.
Yeah. Even when what's his face was part of Justice League, Captain Cold. That was pretty cool. Oh yeah. Anyway. So we're like, who is this guy? And going on in the Justice League comic as well, they don't trust Superman because they don't. It's not their Superman. Yeah. But how they tie this all up is, you find out that person going around saying their Superman is actually Mr. Mipalik.
Right.
And he's doing it to get revenge on Superman because Mr. Mipalik got captured by Mr. Oz.
Yeah.
And because Superman told Mr. Mipalik that he's his best friend.
Yeah.
But he never came to look for him, and he...
Which Superman? Which Superman? The pre-52 Superman or the new 52
New
Superman?
52 Superman.
Okay.
And pre-52 Superman's like, but I don't know you.
Yeah.
So then he merges all of his memories into new pre-52 Superman and everyone else's consciousness. Yeah. So they're like, oh, you are our Superman.
Yeah.
So they basically wipe out New 52 Superman like he never happened.
Yeah.
And they also kill Lois Lane.
Yeah. Wait. They kill New 52 Lois Lane.
Yeah.
Right? Okay.
Because her and Lana Lang become Superwoman.
Yeah.
And she dies.
Yeah.
In the first issue. You're like, oh, wow. That's a bit...
But that's because they got another Lois Lane as their backup, so they need this one.
Yeah. So... Yeah. Very messy. Oh yeah, and Mr. Oz ends up being Jor-El, but gone.
From another dimension, right?
No.
Oh, so you're legit Jor-El.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought it was alternate continuity Jor-El or something like that.
I
But
could be wrong, but I'm pretty sure it's main
Yeah.
continuities, Jor-El. Yeah.
yeah. So, what did you think of Rebirth? As you asked me, and then you didn't answer it.
Oh, Rebirth and New 52. Oh, Rebirth. I liked Rebirth.
Oh, sorry. No, 52.
On New 52.
Yeah.
Had its bits that were good.
Yeah.
Like, my favourite parts really were like Earth 2 bits. What?
Yeah.
And they introduced new characters like Harper Row. She's pretty cool.
I will say as well, it was like they tried to push lower tier characters. Sometimes it wasn't the best executed post, but you can see from the tiles that they had their mainstay tiles, and they had the people that were like, okay, let's make this person a thing.
Yeah, they gave them
let's see how this experiment works, you know?
Yeah.
So fair dues to them.
Yeah. Like, they even had a Ray comic.
Yeah.
I think he was in DC Presents, and that was pretty cool. They changed him to be a Indian guy.
A native Indian or an actual Indian?
Actual Indian.
Okay.
Yeah. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah. I probably won't go back to reading the New 52 stuff, but yeah, you know.
Yeah. A bit of a mess with some highlights. Is that we're going to put it, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
And good on DC for giving it a try, though. And
Yeah.
trying to stick through with it. So, yeah. Trying to.
We'll probably have a look at, I don't know, we may have a look at Rebirth at some point, right? A bit later on.
Yeah, because isn't it a new generation now? So, yeah, we'll go at Rebirth at some point.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that's us signing off for this episode of Trip Around the Multiverse.
Yeah. Wait.
The
The rebirth of the Trip Around the Multiverse.
Yeah, that's right. Now we're into that end of our podcast.
Yep.
When we finished the reboot, and now we're going on to the new continuity.
Yeah, which includes old continuity.
I am the bastard brother of Bruce Wayne, who may or may not be related to him or not. It depends on how my memories are working.
Yeah.
But I was also the head talent at the crossover event of Court Owl's Lincoln March, aka CY Chung.
Yeah, I hope he comes back. And I am the solar clone of Clark Kent, Kyle Charles. Fucking hell. And yes, let us know what you thought of the New 52. Was it a waste of time? Was it good? What gems did you find out of it? Like, you know, Donna Troy being Wonder Woman's evil sister? Let us know. In the comments and all that. And thank you once again for listening. We'll see you on the Flippity Flip.
Oh, we'll see you guys at the next crisis, right?
Yeah, once I run back in time to change something stupid. All right. All right. Bye.